Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about a microculture from my country, Colombia, specifically from Bogotá, the capital city. The microculture I chose is a childhood street play microculture that I was part of when I was a child growing up in a working class neighborhood. In this community, children used to spend hours playing outside in the streets every afternoon after school. The street was actually our playground. We didn't need technology, big toys, or money. What we had was imagination, creativity, and friendship. So, this microculture represents a small but important part of Colombian urban life, the way children create joy and community in their own environment. And also in this presentation, I'll explain how this group meets the five characteristics of a microculture. And I'll also describe the game's values and lessons that shaped us. So first, let's talk about physical or cultural trait in this microculture. This microculture is defined mainly by cultural traits, which is like it is not about physical appearance or ethnicity, but about the shared way of living and cultural practices among children in working class neighborhoods of Bogota. Besides, the main cultural trait is the habit of playing in the streets, in front of the houses, on sidewalks, or in open spaces between buildings, even. We used simple things like bottle cups, old tennis, balls, chalks, marbles, ropes, or even stones sometimes. And these objects became symbols of creativity and resourcefulness. Those are some examples of our games. So these games reflected cooperation, competition, imagination. For example, La Golosa, which is hopscotch, just drawn with chalk, where we jump on one leg through number boxes. It taught balance and fairness. If your stone didn't land in the right place, it wasn't your turn. So we also have here escondidas, which is hide and seek. And it is basically one child counted to 10 while others hid behind cars, trees, or walls. It was really exciting, and you learn strategy and teamwork. And also, you can see here canicas, which is marbles. Kids brought their favorite marbles and created circles on the ground, and then you had to hit the other's marble out of the circle. A mix of skill and luck in this game. We also played this one called La Lleva or Tag. Someone chased others yelling La Lleva. That means you eat. It made us run, laugh, and bond through movement and adrenaline. And here's my favorite one, which is quemados, is dodgeball, usually played with a softball. Two teams tried to burn players by hitting them. It created rules, alliances, and fun competition. So basically, these cultural traits, the games, the teamwork, the shared laughter, defined who we were as a group. Another characteristic of this microculture is the involuntary membership. So, being part of this microculture was not a choice, it was something that came naturally. If you were a child growing up in a working class neighborhood, you automatically belonged. Everyone who lived nearby and was between 5 and 12 years old was part of this group. After school, we would hear the first kid calling from outside, like, Salgan a jugar, which means let's go out and play. And suddenly the street was full of children. For instance, there was no formal invitation at all, no schedule. It was spontaneous and collective. That's what made it special. It was a community of children connected by place, time, and shared experiences. Another important point was endogamy. In sociology, endogamy means that people mostly interact with their own group. So in this case, the children from our neighborhood played with only others from the same area. We rarely interacted with kids from wealthier neighborhoods, mostly because they lived far away and had different lifestyles. They usually spent time indoors, had private parks, or joined organized sport games. Meanwhile, our playtime was open, informal, and free. This separation helped preserve our unique games, jokes, and rules. For example, the way we decided who would start first in a game, we said piedra, papel, or tijera, which is rock, paper, scissors, was part of our local culture. Even our slang and expressions were unique, like no se vale trampa, no cheating, te tocó, you're it. El que se va pierde, whoever leaves loses. These expressions, repeated every day, reinforced our identity. Something really important is the awareness of different status. Even as children, we were aware that our lifestyle was different from others. When I visited relatives in other areas of Bogota, I noticed they didn't play outside at all. They had video games, new toys, or after school activities. And at some point, I realized that our way of playing was sometimes seen as lower class or unsafe. So, but for us, the street was freedom. It was where friendships were made, where we learned how to negotiate, share, and also imagine. And we felt proud of that difference because it made us resilient and creative. We learned how to make fun of almost nothing. And that's a kind of wealth that can be bought. Now let's talk about the different treatment from the dominant group. The dominant group in Bogota's social structure is the wealthier families. They often viewed street play as something dangerous or for poor kids. This perception made our microculture seem less valuable in society's eyes. Sometimes adults told us not to play outside because it looked messy or noisy. However, inside the group, we found recognition, inclusion, and pride. We were treated differently by the dominant culture, but within our small world, we built equality and belonging. That contrast made us aware of class differences very early and taught us empathy and strength. Finally, I can say that the childhood street play microculture of Bogota represents much more than simple games. It's a living example of how children create culture through imagination, social rules, and shared experiences. It also reflects important values of Colombian culture. For example, community and togetherness, creativity with limited resources, joy despite challenges, social awareness, and solidarity. And today, these traditions are disappearing because of technology, safety concerns, and urban change. But for those of us who grew up like this, those games remain part of our identity. These pictures that you guys have seen through this presentation are real pictures of Bogota, Colombia, with kids that I used to be working with in the past and at school in Bogota. So they all played these fun games with me, and I'm so proud to show you these pictures. Personally, this microculture taught me to value human connection, communication, and teamwork, skills that are essential in any intercultural context, it reminds me that culture is not only about language, food, or music. It's also about how we live our everyday lives and the small worlds we build within society. This video is a video in the school that I used to teach in Colombia, and these kids are playing in recess, like just running, having fun. Bye. Thank you for watching. And remember, it's Colombia, not Colombia.